Money Conversations was a whole concept and idea that I started because I found that there's a disparity between finances and how people think of finances and how finances are relatable to everyone around us. And I realized as someone who is an expert in finances and financial planning specifically, a lot of people find finances to be something that is not fun to talk about, something that is complicated, something that is not relatable, something that you basically can't actually understand and is not for everyone. So basically this money conversation is to basically make finances something easily accessible to everyone around us. So I'm extremely excited to start this process. I am going to have guests that are going to join us on these conversations. And our guests are going to be people from all walks of life. So people that come from different industries, people that have their own businesses, people that work 9 to 5s, people that do so many things but have a financial story to tell. And I thought that this would be very relatable because there's so many stories that we could learn from one another. There's so many lessons that we can learn from one another. And that's exactly why I started this opportunity. So I'm really excited about it. This is the premiere of Money Conversations. I think there's going to be many conversations that we're really going to enjoy, that are going to be beneficial to everyone. And yeah, guys, if you have questions about finances, about financial jargon, financial planning, debunking certain financial concepts, hit me up, send me a DM, and we'll definitely implement them in the Money Conversation. And yeah, we'll take it from there. What I am going to do now is invite our guest, Ntando Zikalala, into our live session. This thing is, guys, I'm not, yeah. How do I even do it? Let's see. Guys, things. Yes. So, Ntando Zikalala is a force, guys. I said this. She is a force. She's a person that I met in Instagram, and I basically learned about her because of what she's doing in her industry. And I realized that, look, I am about women. I'm for women because I am a woman. But anyway, I love women in leadership. I love women that are in business. And it was nice to actually have a conversation with you and actually understand what you do, how you think about finances, where you go, how you got where you got, and we can just have a conversation in that regard. I know that you are the business director of Liquid Image Consulting, right? And thank you for having us, or thank you for coming.
Hello, Toligile. How are you? I hope you're well.
I'm good.
I didn't know this was the premiere. I am so excited now.
It is.
Now I feel like
It
there's just
is.
more
It is.
pressure. Like it's just like it has to be perfect, you know.
I think there's this beauty in imperfection, so we'll take it as it goes.
Okay, that's
I think
true.
there's a lot we're going to learn. I think there's a lot that we're going to learn.
Let's
Let's start it up, man. Ntando, how did you start? Wait, let's take it back. You in your early teens were in, what was it called? Masters of Rhythm. Now, if you guys don't know what Masters of Rhythm was, I remember when I was growing up, it was a dancing event, right?
It was a dance competition.
And a dancing competition, and a lot of people used to go to the dancing competition, and I think there was groups and there were also solos, I think. And I only found out recently that you were part of the committee, or the people that actually created and formulated the Masters of Rhythm.
Not necessarily created it. So just I mean, you're taking me so back, you know, Masters of Rhythm, my goodness. So basically what happened was the founder of Masters of Rhythm, which is Simba Mernoli,
Yes.
he's also the founder of Clinch. I don't know if you guys remember Clinch Crew, right? So he then founded Masters of Rhythm, at that time, he was in a relationship with my sister, and they were also business partners. So they worked on the baby together and grew it and developed it, and along with Simba's friends and all those people. And then she's my sister. She's my sister forever, but she's actually my step sister, or Clementine. So then that's how I got introduced to Masters of Rhythm. I mean, I was in grade 9. So that's when I got introduced to it. I mean, I knew Masters of Rhythm from, I think, a year before or something like that, but that's how I got into the team, basically.
Okay, so if you were in the team, there was definitely lessons and takeaways that you took from Masters of Rhythm, especially on the business front of things, and basically broadening your capacity of how to manage certain projects of this nature. So what were the certain takeaways that you took from being part of Masters of Rhythm?
With Masters, I mean, I was a teenager, I was a child, I was so young, I was literally in high school when I started working. I started working as a runner, and then I worked my way up. Like, I started proving myself to Simba that I wanted more responsibility. I wanted more things to do. I started off, I think I was a runner for admin, and then I became a stage runner. And then from there, I moved up and became I was a stage. What was my title? But something to do with I don't remember the exact name, but it was a stage. I was in charge of the stage. So basically, a coordinator, stage coordinator. I think, yeah, that was the title. That's the last year of Masters of Rhythm. That was my title. So that I had that for like 2-3 years. I mean, it taught me a lot of responsibility. It also taught me that. It taught me how to work with people, because with Masters it was a lot of people. Like, so we had to manage we had to do the tryouts in the different regions, so Cape Town, Durban, Johannesburg, and then you'd have to do the admin to consolidate all of that, do the finalists, do the semi-finals, and then we get up to the finals at the end. And then, I mean, in each category we had, let's say we had large groups, and large groups, a group could have about 25 members, so you had to administer all of that. It took me a lot about organization as well. And I was also managing the talent. So basically, anyone that was coming on stage, I was managing that, right? So that was a fun time. That was great. That was fun time.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
I think the reason why I took us back to Masters of Rhythm is because I am a businesswoman right now, what I did realize is that some of the things you have to learn as you go. It's things that you generally don't have engulfed in, things that are innate in you in terms of business, strategizing, managing people, managing money, managing time. And I think that having that opportunity, definitely that's something I would want personally for my child. I think perhaps that's something that also helps you with the company that you're currently running, or running coherently with your partner.
Yes. So I mean, it's life lessons, and there's a very big difference between practical and theory. When you're reading something and when they're teaching you something in school, and then the reality of when it actually happens, it's two totally different worlds, and no one can teach you that. You can only experience it. I guess that's why they say things like, when you're looking for work, they're like, yeah, you have to have 5 years experience or whatever the case may be, because that really means something, although you may have the qualification, but it's the realness of it all. Do you know what I'm saying? So it makes a big difference. What was the question? Sorry.
No, I was just thinking it was more of a comment than a question. I was just leading to the
I can just
of
babble on,
what
so
you
I
learned at
realized as I
Masters of
was
Rhythm.
answering.
Yeah,
Sorry,
what
I
you learned
realized
at
as I was
Masters of
answering
Rhythm.
that, I man, Ntando, you're no longer saying what they asked you.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And in terms of the company that you're running, perhaps tell us about that, and basically what you guys do.
Okay, so I am a business director at Liquid Image Consulting. Liquid Image is a 360 below the line communications agency. So we do communication strategies from myriad of clients. We do end-to-end services, from branding, logistics, to graphic design, to multimedia. We do events, we do PR, we do activations. It differs from client to client, basically. But that's what we do at Liquid Image. I miss it so much. Like, I know I do it every day, but it's not the same anymore because like I'm now in like I'm not, it's not the same. It's just not the same. So I miss it a
It's
lot.
not the same.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a part of it that's still very detached from me, if I could say, you know, because I'm used to like being in a space with my team and we're brainstorming and we're talking and we're throwing ideas and we love each other, we mad at each other, we say tulisana sakhalisana, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
I love that so much. So I miss that a lot.
Got you, got you. Look, I mean, this pandemic and what we're going through has genuinely made us evolve. And some of the things are something that we don't like, but I think it's just, I don't want to say the new normal, but it's a
It
definitely
is.
an adjustment that we had to make. But in those adjustments, I think it brings on tenacity, it brings about agility as well. So if you have that flexibility in terms of how you manage certain situations, um, you end up being at the top of your game, you know?
Yeah.
So I
I mean,
think
I'm still
certain
figuring
things
it
are a
out.
blessing and a disguise.
I'll be honest, I'm still figuring it out, you know. I'm just really
Yeah.
figuring it out. One day at a time, I think we will get to a point where we are comfortable again and we are like confident again. Because right now it
Yeah.
was more of a we're trying. It's trial and error, you know. We are our own biggest critics at the moment. So we don't even get to a point where something is even public. It's okay, fine, this is our new plan or whatever, because it was so critical of what we are doing internally ourselves, you know. So
Mm.
it'll get there. It's an adjustment. It's an adjustment. It's an adjustment.
So you hopped onto Liquid Image Consulting very early on. I think you were part of a partnership with your mother, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So you jumped on really quickly into the game. What I wanted to know is, how did you maximize your runway in terms of the business? Now, when I speak about runways, that there's so many operational costs, there's so many things that you need to put in place for the business to actually survive whilst you're trying to generate business, right? Um, and sometimes you need to generate a very big runway, but sometimes the time is not enough. Do you
Yeah.
understand what I mean? How were
Oh,
you able to mitigate that? Because if you don't have enough time and you need to bring in the business, how did you go about those trying times of starting a business?
what do you mean? What do you mean by enough time? Like the time as in
So
time in the day
at
or
the
like
inception of the business, right, you need the runway in terms of actually bringing the business to life, right?
yeah.
So whilst you're bringing the business to life, there's certain operational costs that need to be paid, right?
Yeah.
So whilst you're waiting for those operational costs to be paid, they still, in most instances, it takes time to actually make the revenue consistent. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's when we're speaking about the runway in terms of the expenses. So how did you mitigate any problems in that regard?
I mean, it's a work in progress, hey? I'll be very honest with you.
Yeah.
Even to date, I promise you, we still have meetings about that where we're trying to balance our operational costs versus our expenses and our profits. I mean, it's our daily battle. I'll be very honest with you, where we're doing certain projects and sometimes they in retrospect you may think Ukuthi there is a profit because
Yeah.
because of the value of the project, but when
Yeah.
you fully investigate and you go deep into it and you put in your running costs and you put in your
Yeah.
operational costs and the cost to project, cost to company and all that stuff, you realize
Yeah.
did I really make
Yeah.
money, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a work in progress. We're learning every day. It's changing every day. The industry is changing every day. And
Yeah.
we're going through it, you know, where we're hitting it as we go. That's the truth. So today,
And
I mean, we've got structures that are set up at the moment, right? From our financial perspective, got
yeah.
certain ways that certain strategies that we're using, but it's nothing that it's flexible, if I could say, you know. So it's very very flexible. So our financial director will come and say, okay, this is the plan. They present it to us because we're not finance people. You know, I'm not a finance person.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
financial
Yeah.
director and our accountant will come and present it to us. They'll say, this is the plan, this is where we're going, this is how much you made on this certain project. And it's always the worst for me when they tell me that you didn't make any money. And I'm like, but I did. And they're like, no, but you didn't. And I'm like, oh, really? And they start calculating it, you know. So it's a work in
Yeah.
progress. It's always a work in progress, and we always work together to try and find a solution going forward.
Yeah. Okay, got it, got it. And in terms of managing your paycheck, I think when you go into business, you start paying yourself. You start generating your own paycheck. So the more business you generate, generally more money you're able to make, which means that your paycheck gets better. How do you coincide that in terms of your personal life? So the reason why I'm asking that is that did you experience any financial challenges at the beginning of your business or the beginning stages of your business, and what implications did it have on your personal life?
Oh my, yes, we did. We did.
Yeah.
Quite a lot, especially because with certain contracts that we have, we're on like 60-day contract, we are 60-day payment terms, right? I mean, that will
Yeah.
drain any business, you know.
Yeah.
It becomes it's difficult at the beginning it was more difficult. Now it's become more, we found a way to make it a cycle where we're able to move money around so that we can be able to maximize on those 60 days, you know. So I mean, we've got clients that pay us literally after 60 days as a small business, you know. At the beginning that would drain us, where we would have to go tap into overdraft, tap into savings, you know, before we can execute a project. And then we're completely dry. And then we have to wait for payment. By the time payment comes in, it goes all to our debt. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's a vicious cycle. It was a vicious
Yeah.
cycle, you know. And what we've done, because what ended up happening is that we expanded our business and we started getting more clients. So although maybe we have 3 or 4 clients that have a 60-day payment term, we have others that have a 30 days. So the 30 days or the 15 days or those immediate payment ones are able to then fund the projects for the 60-day. Because ultimately, I mean, it's good. It's I've heard people say, well, if it's a 60-day payment, I'm turning it away. It's you can always say that. It's easy to say that, you know. But in reality, when it's 3 million and they're like, there's a 3 million rand project, but you're only going to get paid in 60 days. You're like, okay, you're gonna quantify profits and all of that stuff, and then we usually end up taking it and then we work things around, you know. So
Yeah.
it's difficult, you know, but we have good relationships with our bankers. We have very good relationships, so we're able to get money when we do need it, and when
Yeah.
we don't have it, you know. So that is
I,
one of
I,
the
I
benefits.
agree. I agree with that so much because even me, when I got into business, what I realized was that the diversification of income is so important because of the complexities of cash flow.
Mm.
It's the same concept of cash flow within your personal life for a person that is working a 9 to 5 or someone that is employed officially. You
Mm.
need to be able to have the diversification of income because, quite frankly, having it narrowed down to one income becomes so risky that you end up having to tap into certain credit facilities, like you stated, and the interest rates that you're going to be paying there are going to be taking any surplus income that you
Yeah,
do
they're
have,
taking your profits.
that you are regressing,
Mm.
going backwards. So I think we are coming to a modernized day and age where we basically need to make more money, and we need to find different mechanisms and different ways of making money. Perhaps it's passive, perhaps it's a side hustle, perhaps it's the 9 to 5 side hustle and passive income, whatever the case might be. But the diversification at
Is
this
essential.
current point is essential. It's
Yeah.
it's so important.
So I
Um,
actually didn't answer the first part. You had asked me about paying yourself,
yeah,
and
yeah,
so I mean, when we started out, that's the one thing that I didn't do. You know, I didn't pay myself, which was a very big mistake, and I only know that now, as I'm coming into age and stabilizing my life, you know. I know that, I think for the past 3 years now, yeah. So before, I never used to pay myself. I'd sacrifice my salary, I'd sacrifice my money, for the business, for the benefit of the business, which is great, you know, because I'd already sacrificed my time. I had put in 100%. And then I came to a point where I was like, okay, I need to start getting to a point where I can plan my future, and I
yeah,
can, and as a person, because for me to be able to input into the business, I need to be able to be strong myself, you know. I need to input into myself. I can't pour from an empty cup, you know. So I was like, okay, I need a salary. I can't go without it, you know.
yeah.
And to date, I mean, with the business currently, I mean, we're very, very slow, obviously because of COVID. But the one thing that I won't sacrifice is paying myself. I pay myself first. I make sure that I'm paid so that I can pay my debt, so that I can make sure that my children have a livelihood, and I can move to the second part, and I think it's very, very important to do that as business owners, to actually learn to pay ourselves, because ultimately our expenses will never change, and they'll never become smaller. It will never be witty. No, next month you don't have to pay the electricity or whatever the case. There will always be something,
Yeah.
Now, how do you take out your own personal insurance and all that type of stuff if you don't have a salary? So yeah, that's where I am currently.
I love the analogy of you being a businesswoman and paying yourself, which in actual fact, as a business, then you're paying yourself a salary. The same concept is applicable when you are paying yourself as an individual that is employed. And when we say paying yourself, we are saying that the money that you're getting from your employment as a salary, you need to decide on a percentage that you're going to pay yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. And what that basically means is that whatever percentage that is going to be money that is going to enhance you. Because most of the time when we get paid, that money goes out in terms of an outflow. So whether we're paying rent, whether we're paying our bonds, whether we're paying for our cars, so money is flowing out of us, and it's actually not used to the benefit of uplifting ourselves, whether it's through investments, whether it's through education, whether it's buying properties and building your net worth as a person.
Yeah.
We need to get to a point where we start paying ourselves. So I like when a lot of people, like when you have a business, you're going to draw up a budget. You're going to know that I pay my employees, I pay my the office rent, whatever the case might be. In your individual budget, you need to also pay yourself and say that this is the money that is going to help me uplift myself going forward. So I think it's extremely important, and something that we do.
What I've seen with people, with business owners that don't pay themselves, is what ends up happening is that you then start using like business funds with no limit. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It becomes a more of a, in the back of your head, you're always like, but I don't pay myself, so I can just, and then you're busy with using the business funds, and then before you know it, you've abused them, so it's best to pay yourself, so that you know that whatever is happening, whatever you need personally, you need to be able to go get, because if you go to Dis-Chem, for instance, on a personal capacity, I mean, I can tell you Dis-Chem is very expensive. So when I'm shopping there, I will nitpick, okay, fine, this one, I look at the prices and everything. But if my company is paying, or I don't have a budget, before I know it, I will be paying 5,000 rand upon checkout, and then at the end, I justify to myself that, but I didn't get a salary, so I'm allowed to.
That is true. That is true. Spot on. So, let's get to the personal side of things. So you're giving yourself a salary now that you're running the business. So you decided that you're giving yourself a salary. What are your current struggles, or what were the challenges that you were facing? What were the things that you were doing that were not beneficial to you financially? Whether it be buying yourself, I don't know. What were the challenges that you had in terms of how you managed your money?
Oh, you say "were" like they finished, girl.
Oh, okay. No, but
right now.
Ntando, you said to me that no, I managed my money so well now. I'm like, she's got it together.
Send me more money. Don't say "were" and actually they're finished. It's not finished.
Okay. Struggle. What are they?
More money. I need money. I need more money. Send money.
Yeah, no. But see, if we say that, if you get more money, you're still going to do the same things. It doesn't matter. So there's certain things that you're probably doing.
I don't have. So do you know what happened in my life? Right. I was very smart. Right. And I will pat myself here. Yeah. What I do rather is I don't know if I can say it like that, but okay. So what I do is I'm in a business where battery is getting low. Just give me 1 second, please. Just one
Okay.
second. I just want to plug in my charger.
Okay.
This
Okay,
battery is
guys,
like
so the
so.
live is going to be saved for those that are asking. But yeah.
Yeah, so what I do, I mean, I've got business interests that are beneficial to my personal life, right? So for
Okay.
instance, traveling, right? I love to
Okay.
travel, and that's one of my indulgence. I love to travel. So what then happens is I'm in a space where I get to travel, and then automatically that becomes not my expense because I'm there on business,
Okay.
So I'm in a business where I'm passionate about it. Not only am I passionate about it, I am able to basically propose things that I think would be great, for my clients or my end user. But equally, because I'm a person of experience, I know I would love to experience that as well. If that makes sense. So like, I travel a lot, so I don't pay for my travels most of the time. I'll be very honest, I don't.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say a big expense of mine, if I could explain, but I travel a lot. Do you get where I'm coming from? Because
Mm.
my work is travel. Do you get what
Yeah,
I'm saying? So in
I
terms
get
of
you.
my fine, I'm not an impulsive spender. Like, I don't waste money. I'm not even kidding you. My mom says Guti ni Judah. Like, that's what she calls me. She says Guti I Nungo, bambizungo, Gobati. No, they sometimes don't even tell me things that they're going to buy because,
Yeah.
I'll be like, the first thing I'm squinting, like, was that necessary? Type of a
Yeah.
thing. I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm that type of person. I don't spend unnecessarily. I really, really
Yeah.
don't. That has a pro and a con. The con for me, which I was thinking about today, is the fact that then I don't I'm afraid to take risks, financial risks. And that's a con because in life you have to risk
Mhm.
to gain the rewards. So that is where I'm struggling to balance being a wise spender and a person who is in charge. I'm in charge of my finances. I'm generally in
Mhm.
charge of my life. I live like a very conscious life. Like, I know exactly what's happening in my life, where I'm going, where I come from, that type of thing. Like, that's I put out positive energy and positive vibes, and for a very long time in my life I've done that. So even with my finances, like, I don't, like, I'm not gonna one of the reasons why I stopped drinking was because it was so expensive. I was like, no, wait. No, I'm not doing that. So I'm that girl with the Red Bull, $25. Great. I'm a
Yeah.
bargain queen. I love things on sale. I love things on special. I love shopping, but I'm not like a compulsive shopper either. My things are, it's at moderate. It's moderate. It's enough. What do I need? Like, my house is also not big. It's quite small. So, and I'm very minimalistic. So I can't overbuy things because then there's no space for it. And I'm very pedantic about things like that. Like,
Yeah.
I've got these plastic bags here. What must I do with them? Type of a thing. So
Yeah.
it's just those kind of things. Like, when there is no space for it in my life, there's literally no space for it. I won't buy it, no matter how much I love
I,
it.
I think, that's a cycle or something. That's a challenge that a lot of our demographic, if I'm going to be politically correct, our demographic deals with in terms of money is because we work so hard for our money, and in most situations the money that we do get is probably new money, and because it's new money we don't want to take risks with that money.
Sorry,
But
she's about
what
to fall off the chair. She's sleeping. Yeah, go sleep in your bed. I'm so sorry.
who's
That's my daughter. She's literally
say
she's about to fall off the chair. Legit, I should have turned the camera around. I know. Sorry.
she wants to listen in. She
Yes, but
wants to
she's
listen
falling.
in.
She's about to fall off. Sorry about that.
No worries. So I was saying that there's certain challenges that we feel, oh, we go through in our demographic as Black people because the money that we get is new money, right?
Yeah.
And because it's new money, we want to be very wise with the money that we get. And we don't want to take any risks in terms of the money that we have.
Yeah.
But I realized that when there is a financial strategy that you're using, there is compartments that you can put in place that says that this money is going to be very cautious to make sure that I've got money for operational purposes. And then I'll also have money that is readily available so that I can exponentially grow my money going forward, you know? So sometimes I think we need to move away from the fear that if I let go of some money, there won't be any abundance left, which I feel like that is a catch-22 that we sometimes
It's so
struggle with.
difficult. Yeah.
Because we work so hard for the money that we have right now, that it's like, I'm not letting go of this money. What if I lose it? What if I,
That's one of
there's
the
so many
things about
what ifs.
investing as well. Investing it's got that risk factor. So like, I mean, with my investments, I am so cautious. Like, and I wish I could take more risk, you know. I wish I could be like those people who, when things like Bitcoin are launching and I know that I've got like that extra 50,000, I can slap into that type of thing. I'm
I mean,
so
you just went to the extremist side of risk. I didn't say risk going to Bitcoin, but
no,
anyway,
but
let's
when
continue.
Bitcoin was coming out at the beginning, those people they made money, you know, at the beginning. But you had to have risked it at the beginning. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you get where I'm coming from?
I'll lose my license if I agree with some of the stuff you say. So Ntando, we'll leave it at that. Okay. It's okay.
Especially because
Guys,
the internet
I
never
just
forgets.
say invest in Bitcoin. So, but I do understand what you're saying is that sometimes you need to take readily available opportunities that prevail, that will allow you to exponentially grow your money, in which there are instances where you can make such money, but it's so important to do the fundamental research about the companies or the ventures or whatever you want to invest in, because sometimes you'll think that, oh my gosh, it's such a good opportunity, but in most instances it's not. Or someone came with a suit and tie and propose something to you, and in actual fact it's not something that would be beneficial. So it's important to actually survey and navigate through these things, and also make sure that you have your buffer. I'm not saying that take risk and not have your buffer. Everything happens in steps. You need to have your foundation, you'll have your walls, and then from there, then you'll be able to do boots and all in terms of getting all these fancy things like the risk associated investments. But you have to do it step by step and not go into it without thinking about it clearly. Do you understand what I mean?